When I was a kid, we used to hire this little rowing boat and we used to go up and down sections of the Kennet and Avon Canal. And I always used to remember wondering what was around the next corner. Never really got to find out other than just a bit more canal. But as a kid, who cared? I wonder what's around that next corner. So today, it brings me quite a bit of pleasure to be able to tell you the story of what is around that corner just up ahead on the last 5 miles of the Basingstoke Canal. The story of the Basingstoke Canal is one we've told before. We've been to the Greywell Tunnel, the reason why the last 5 miles of the Basingstoke Canal failed because the tunnel collapsed and they just abandoned this last 5 miles. I think the rest of it you can navigate pretty successfully. As you'll see ahead of us, there's quite a...
It's looking a bit more abandoned than normal at the moment though.
It is. And there's a good reason for that. And I mean, you've segmented us into the next section really well there,
sorry.
Rebecca. No, that's perfectly acceptable. You've done a better job than I did. So I got a message yesterday from our friend Matt, who you may have well seen if you've watched our 2 previous videos on the Basingstoke Canal. And Matt said, Paul, Rebecca, you need to get down to the old Basingstoke Canal, the abandoned bit of the canal, and go to the brickwork arm, because there's something quite special that's happened owing to the lack of rain in this country in the last 6 months or so. So for further geographical context, let's flip to Rail Map Online, because they also do canals. This is the last 5 miles of the Basingstoke Canal, and here is the brickwork arm. Now this arm was dreamt up by Sir Frederick Sager Hunt, who a few years prior to opening this brickwork arm purchased the entire canal in 1895 from the receivers. He formed the Hampshire Brick and Tile Company and started producing, well, bricks by the boatload. Opened in 1898, lasted about 3 years. Now apparently the bricks that were made here were faulty, and despite the fact they made nearly 8 million of them, transported a lot by canal, obviously meant that I can guess there was a, if the right word is lawsuit, or 2 thereafter, because in 1901 it was closed 3 years on, so obviously quite some defect. He's walking up the arm. About 50 yards up now, it's completely dried out, which is the key to today's video. Still September the 12th today, and it's 25 degrees. And why I'm wearing a jumper today, Rebecca, I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure.
Beyond me.
All the bricks that are obviously,
yeah,
as the canal's not here anymore.
Well, it's interesting because last time we came here, that was completely overgrown with vegetation. So they've obviously pulled out all the vegetation, and of course a lot of the bricks have come tumbling into the canal. Yep. But bear in mind, last time when we came here, it was also 2 or 3 feet deep in water.
In water, yeah, exactly.
So if I told you we're looking for seagull, you may be quite confused about what I'm talking about, but just ahead of me there, wow, is an old vessel hidden by the depths of the water in normal times, but because we've had this huge drought, exposed ahead of us now is an old vessel, an old barge. It's beautiful. I'll tell you all about it when we go and have a look. This is quite amazing. When we came with Matt last time, we had an inkling that he said they found an old boat in here in the 1980s. No one really knew if it was still here, I think is the line. So this was a steam-powered vessel built between 1835 and 1850, and it remains, this is staggering, it remains the only surviving example in the world of one of these types of vessels where the planks went longitudinal, the length of the barge, or that way. And it would be great if something could be done. The engine, I understand, is now in a museum. It's in the National Water Museum in Gloucestershire. It would be amazing, such is the importance of this bit of heritage here, that this could be saved. But the fact that it's now exposed from water up and under, maybe a few times, it's last time it's been in and out of water, clearly that is the case, that's probably not going to do it any favours, we guess. So it needs doing sooner rather than later. But again, money, volunteers, all sorts, and it's probably 70 foot long. Right. let's have a quick look around here as well, because I have a funny feeling there are remnants of another old building here, which is the old works for the brickworks, the clay milling machines and stuff.
Okay.
No luck on that pathway, so we've gone back past the boat, past the arm. I'm just going to try the other side of those posh new houses to see. I think the location of the main works were where those new houses are. We'll just go to the other side of those because you can get there. See what we can find. Back across the junction, back across the bridge. Worth noting as well, we have done a couple of videos on the Basingstoke Canal before. We may have mentioned it earlier. We've done the Greywell Tunnel, its history.
One of them may be here somewhere.
One of them will be here somewhere. We've also done another one which was the old mill thing we found.
Oh yes, we did.
Again,
yeah.
back on that side.
Yep.
One day we'll make a video about the old Basingstoke Canal in its entirety. But for the meantime, you're stuck with the third video from the 5 mile abandoned stretch.
Why not?
Yes, I've just come up to what I think it's called Slades Bridge. A bit ropey. So I'm guessing there was an old stop block here under Slades Bridge because there's cuts in the bridge. So they'd have slotted something here, maybe to keep the water in whichever side, probably this side. And also something else completely fascinating is that there, an old rope mark on the bridge. Now, considering we've just seen a steam-powered boat in there, probably used as early as 1850s onwards, maybe, does that mean that the rope marks here in the bridge were caused in the very early part of the canal, and therefore that bridge hasn't been replaced or touched up in any way since the early 1800s? Maybe my maths is wrong, but fascinating. Sometimes when our friend Matt messages us, he teases me and he says railway, just to be a bit you know, to get me to go to that place, to tease me there's a railway. We've just walked 100 yards north of Slades Bridge where the clay works were, and oh my goodness me, do you know what this is?
No, what is it?
This isn't a bridge. Look how low that one is and look how high that one is.
Yeah.
So that one's really low. What does that tell you? That's an incline. From there to there is an incline. So this is like an old, either like a ropeway railway or overhead railway or something. Maybe just for the brickworks, and or even like a conveyor system or something.
Yeah, like an inclined
This
tram
is
road sort of thing.
insane. I wasn't expecting this. I genuinely thought Matt was just having a giggle with us and said, oh, there's a railway. But is this what he meant? Look at that. We struggled to find any great source of information for the works here. Largely everything seems to be focused on the canal and the short period of works here. But the extent of these structures here, well, we'd love to know a bit more. Perhaps you good people will have better luck than me. So if we've not been able to find anything from the clay works when we're back at home, well, there's obviously a lot more questions to be answered there. Looks quite interesting though. Well, we're nearly back now at the arm, the brickwork arm, and the joyous boat there, the steam boat that would have supplied the bricks from the brickwork, Nately Brickworks. And we're now heading back to the end of the Basingstoke Canal. Quick thank you for your continued subscribership and love of our little channel. We really appreciate your time. And if you liked this video, then you could just click on the like button for us.
Please.
Drop us a little comment and say hello. That'd be joyous. We will see you this time next Sunday at 5 PM. Thanks for watching.